I'm so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. So today's video is on the uncharted housing market and what to do whether you're buying or whether you're selling. So this is going to be a much more in-depth video, and it's kind of based on some events that transpired today. I was able to talk with a lot of professional realtors, a lot of successful realtors, and basically get both sides of the coin, whether they were representing sellers or buyers that had recently sold, and all of the challenges that go along with it. So this video is going to be 100% my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, and understand that my opinion is going to be based specifically on how this market, the market that we're in, and normally we're not in such a toxic market, whether you're buying or whether you're selling. So normally I wouldn't give you, the same opinions, but this is not a normal housing market, and I really think that's important to understand right away. Not everyone is selling or buying for the same reasons. When I'm giving you guys my opinion is definitely based on what I had to go through in the past. Like I've said, I used to own in 2008 in Southern California. I lost my house to foreclosure because I lost income. I could not sell my house because I was trapped in it upside down, which led to a foreclosure. So I'm a little bit more protect yourself, stay a little bit safer in the housing market and invest wisely. Now, after I share with you guys my opinion, what we're going to do at the end of this video is look at tonight's treasury yields, basically the 10 and 2, and see how close it is to inversion. We're going to see if the 5 and the 3 are still inverted, but that's how we're going to wrap this up. Now, you guys, before we jump into this article, do me a favor for YouTube, for the algorithm, like this video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, but always comment. Okay, so either you're kind of on the core logic side where there may be some negative equity, prices are probably only going to go up 3%, which they probably already have from January to right now, or you're going to be more of a Zillow, like let's just buy, let's just buy, let's just buy. Now, as you know, I'm a little bit more core logic. I believe in, I'm a little bit safer. I don't believe there's going to be double digit equity growth like that. I've voiced that. Look at some other videos. But what we need to understand is what is going on in the market right now outside of those articles. So essentially what we have is, number one, the biggest thing, we have a very, very horrible lack of inventory. Due to the lack of inventory, whether it was too many investors buying or money was too cheap, whatever it is, we have a massive inventory shortage in the housing market, and that may take a long time to get up. So nevertheless, it's still important to talk about, because now what we have is also inflation. And in order to combat that inflation, we have surging interest rates, which kind of just feels like it's just more inflation. Everything is going up. But the reality is the rates are going up to curb the inflation and to really cool down the housing market. So we got the Federal Reserve and lenders cooling down the market with higher interest rates, but we still have this horrible lack of supply, which brings me to the next thing that is currently going on in this market, which is emotions and fear. This market, from my opinion and what I am seeing, is entirely toxic, even if you are a seller, because of the rush and the fear and the uncertainty. This whole fear of missing out, I'm hoping is going to go away. And I believe once it goes away, things are going to get a lot better. But in order to kind of figure out how things will get better and if things will get better, you first have to understand that there are different levels of buyers. But before we get into the buyers, we're going to talk quickly about sellers. Now, if you're selling, I'm going to talk about what to do, in my opinion, in the housing market right now. So, because I've said, in my opinion, it has never been a better time to sell if you're going to sell. Some people want to hold real estate, and I get it and I understand it. It's a pride of ownership. But if you want to sell, it's probably the best time to sell in the history of the US housing market. So the next question should be what to do after you sell your house. So all of these sellers that we're seeing in this market, they're going to enter into a housing market of their own problems. But essentially what it's going to create is it's going to create a different level of buyer, because generally the people that are selling their houses are gaining a massive profit and using that profit to put large down payments down for houses, and they're seasoned. Essentially what I'm saying is as a seller, you really need to decide what you're going to do after you've sold your house. Now, as far as I can see it, there's a few options. There's renting. Now, if you're renting and you decide to rent, like I've decided to rent. What I'm doing now is I'm sitting out. I'm expecting some type of recession or cool down, at which point I will reinvest into real estate. I will maintain my outstanding credit and I will continue to save my money. And that's what everyone that is selling that decides to rent should do. But now the question is what if you're selling and you do not want to rent another house? What type of buying opportunity do you want? Now that you've cashed in on your equity, you could put a large down payment down for a house, or you could put the minimum down payment down for a house and save some of the liquidity to further invest in real estate. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. If you do sell and you still want to buy, don't necessarily wrap all of your money back up into your house, because kind of technically mortgage loans are decent loans as opposed to other consumer debt. So consider not using all of the money that you have just made on the sale of your house. At that point, you can either wait to reinvest in real estate, or you can reinvest in real estate right now by either doing a rental house, Airbnb, or whatever it may be. But the point that I'm trying to make is sellers right now have it just as bad. And what I am seeing, the biggest level of fear and emotion is coming from people that have just sold their house. The people that have just sold their house have I don't know what we should call it, maybe a vendetta, but they are going in and scooping up houses as veterans, what I see as being desperate, and they are throwing their proceeds and profit at the house by going, not only putting the minimum down for the loan, but going above the asking price. When I was talking to these realtors today, a lot of them said that unless you're 20, 25, $50,000 over asking price, normally you're not getting the house. That's mind blowing to me because it's March right now. So I'm hoping to see, a drastic downside in this market and it turn back into, a more balanced market. But that is kind of my overall opinion on if you're selling. If you're buying, and I kind of want to separate two types of buyers that I have noticed. It's going to be a lot easier for me to explain this now. My heart goes out to all of the first-time homeowners. To the first-time homeowners, my opinion is right now, and I want to cover the first-time homeowners first because, again, I believe there's a lot of first-time homeowners, and I believe they're getting completely crushed in the housing market. So what I really want to tell, if you're a first-time homeowner, my opinion is sit out right now. You have all kinds of people going crazy, making crazy offers, scooping up houses, and in my eyes, they're making bad decisions with the money they just got from the seller on their house, which basically puts the sellers in a worse situation than if you're a first-time home buyer buying in this market. Okay, so if you're a first-time home buyer, again, my advice is buckle down, maybe rent for 9 to 12 months, and while you're renting, prepare for a recession. Right? Prepare for a possible loss of income. Be a better employee. Save money. Build your credit. It's not all bad renting. It is kind of I look at it in my own situation as I'm wasting money on rent, but also it's not bad because it allows me to be free. If I buy right now and it goes upside down in equity and I need to sell because I lose my job, I can't sell. The house is upside down in equity. That leads to foreclosure. So again, I say to the first-time home buyers, you guys probably picked the absolute worst time to purchase a home in the history of the housing market. I have never seen such a toxic market in my life, and I've been doing this for a couple decades. So first-time home buyers, probably sit this one out, improve your situation. There's no harm in that. You want to win. A lot of times people can win on the other side of things. Stay patient and keep watching the market. Now, if you're an experienced buyer, like I just said, prepare for school loans to start, prepare for EIDL loans to start, gas prices up, food prices up, mortgage rates up, prepare for a possible recession, losing income, okay? Prepare for all those things. But if you're an experienced buyer, my biggest opinion right now is going to be you got to be fast and aggressive, right? You got to continue to be aggressive. I know it's a horrible thing. A lot of times what these realtors are telling me is they're asking their clients, how much over asking price are we going to go on this house, right? So am I going to bid $25,000 over asking, $50,000 over asking, and how much do you love this house, right? So how much do you love this house? If you love this house a whole bunch, do whatever it takes to get it. And that's kind of scary, right? But you've got to be aggressive if you want to get a house. It's just, that's just a situation. A lot of times the buyers, they can't get closing costs. They have to waive the appraisal. They got to do quick closings. all kinds of crazy stuff. But nevertheless, you got to do what you got to do. But I would like to caution anyone that is an experienced buyer that has just got a whole bunch of money from selling their house, don't get desperate. I'm more worried about you and those types of buyers than I am about the first time home buyers, because I believe the first time home buyers, some of them are being forced to dodge a bullet, right? But the experienced buyers that have just sold their property and cashed in on equity, it's those people that are at risk of losing decades of investing in a home by wasting it foolishly by going $50,000, $100,000 over asking. So what I would like to say to those buyers, yes, you have to be aggressive. Yes, you have to be fast. But in my opinion, do not get desperate, whatever you do, and understand that it is okay to walk away. Remember that, okay? You don't have to be stuck buying a home you can't afford and wasting all of your money. Maybe save some of the money for when the housing market turns and then reinvest in real estate. Investing in real estate is an amazing thing to do, whether you just want to live in there or not. So right now, let's go ahead and look at the treasury yields, because as I've been saying, that is going to be one of the biggest indications that we are going to go into a recession, besides the obvious, right? So to me, obviously, I think we're going to go into a recession, but there are certain economic factors that we could monitor that is going to help us determine whether or not we're in a recession, which is 2 quarters of consecutive GDP decline. So let's look at the yields now. So here we have the 10-year treasury bond. As I said, we compare the 10-year to the 2-year. That has been the predictor of 9 recent recessions if this inverts. An inversion means the shorter term is higher than the 10-year. So the 10-year is 2.29. Look at the 5-year, it's inverted. Look at, this is now inverted. Yesterday, this was not inverted. This is inverted, which means the 3-year is higher than this 10-year, okay? Now look at the 2-year that we're comparing. Yesterday, it was 15 basis points off. Now it is 13 basis points from inversion. 2-year is 13 basis points from inversion. The 3-month is still fine. Biggest thing I could tell you about the recession is just buckle down, because generally it's going to hurt the job market that we've been thriving in. Now, you guys, I hope this was helpful to you. Tune in for some more videos. Mad love to everyone that's following my channel, that's showing me love, or that is just overall sharing their opinion. If you guys are out there in the market, I wish the best for you, and I hope you win.